Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolyte.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Ridiculous. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The Film Blurs feature film review.
All right, let's start with One of Them Days. This is surprisingly really good.
It is excellent, especially considering the slim pickings we have for black comedy.
Because SZA's basically playing Erykah Badu.
I mean, yes, right. Like you kind of hate her, but then you
because after a while you're like, bitch, you got to get it together. Like nobody's that fucking stupid or incompetent.
Right. But like the dynamic works, and honestly, SZA is a fantastic actress.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I love her and Keke together, but like in this, SZA is kind of out acting Keke.
In some parts, for me, it fluctuated back and forth between the two.
Yeah.
But the dynamic is what really makes this work. But the script, I'm not going to lie, the script is sharp because the jokes, while I wasn't laughing the entire fucking movie, I was laughing much more than I thought I was going to be laughing.
And like, if they're not like laugh out loud funny, they're humorous, right? Like if you're not laughing, you're smiling.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this whole entire fucking thing. It's a feel good buddy comedy. Like what the story beats are going to be, right? Like like if you've seen one of these movies, you've seen them all. Like the ebbs and flows. But it's the way it's handled and the fact that it's black centric from a black point of view, especially black females. It's refreshing.
People are mad at me on Twitter because on Twitter I said the highest compliment I could give One of Them Days is that it's the next generation's Friday.
And I totally agree with that. 100%.
Motherfuckers are mad at me. They're like, you're delusional. I'm like, look, I love Friday, but also y'all put Friday too high on a pedestal.
Right.
Like this is just as good as like Friday's honestly, a good movie, but like relax. It's not a masterpiece.
Like honestly, if you put this side by side next to Friday, I mean, this is
almost the same exact movie, bro.
It's the same exact movie, but better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like I know Friday's the first black comedy in a minute, especially LA based, that made any kind of money.
And it was in the hood. That was primarily why Ice Cube made it. He's like, yo, I just wanted to show like we do have good times in the hood too. Right,
like it's in the hood. It's black centric, black point of view, right? And it's intelligent because for the longest time we were getting fucking soul planes and like jigaboo shuck and jiving bullshit, right?
Right.
But if you take it as it is, Friday's okay, right? It's got some hilarious moments,
right.
But it's not the best movie.
Right, man.
Yeah.
Not when we in the same decade we have Deep Cover, Menace to Society, fucking shit. Even a few years later, Love and Basketball.
Right.
Like we got much better black movies than Friday, y'all. Like.
Right.
Yeah, like the fact that y'all are calling me delusional, I'm like, yo, that says more about you than it does me.
Right. Yeah, but like you saying that this is this generation's Friday, 100%.
Yeah,
And,
man. Like every generation deserves a black comedy, and this is like the Gen Z Friday. Like
right.
I don't know what else to tell you.
It's because women, right? Because it's led by women. And
Oh, but there was a woman who called me delusional. That's what's fucking wild.
really,
Yeah.
she should have been supporting this up and fucking down.
Yes.
Because, yeah, this movie's fucking good, right? And I'll stand by it. It's better than Friday. Better made than Friday. I'll give you that, right?
100%. No offense to F. Gary Gray. I always found him to be a decent filmmaker.
He's a workman.
Yes.
He's
like
not an
the
artist.
only
He's
time
workman.
I've been impressed with his work is Straight Outta Compton, because I was like, oh, he made a movie. But like even his remake of The Italian Job, that shit's overlit to the point where it looks like a TV show for most of it.
And like honestly, no one remembers anything from The Italian Job beyond the Cooper Mini chase scene.
Yeah. It doesn't come anywhere close to the OG.
Yeah. So that's what you have for that. But yeah, I don't want to say too much about this movie because I don't want to give anything away, any of the jokes.
I mean, right, Friday had a neighborhood bully. This one has a neighborhood bully. And the neighborhood bully in this one, I liked better.
Yeah, right? She's better than Debo, right? Like, everything is better than... I'm sorry, let me say it. Everything's better than Friday. Like, everything in this movie is better than Friday. Like, I like the friendship better, right? The stakes are better.
Yo, no offense, bro, but like, what makes Friday is Chris Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
At least here, it's both Keke and SZA.
Right, they both are dropping bars. They're
right.
like
And
lines.
And like, don't get me wrong, Ice Cube is solid, but like, once they replace Ice Cube with what's his face?
Omar Epps? No, not Omar Epps. No. Mike Epps.
Yeah, once they replaced them with him, I was just like, significant step down.
Yeah.
Because Day Day is not Smokey.
Yeah. That's why, like, the other Fridays they might as well be direct to video, honestly.
Like, the only time I laughed in any of the other Fridays was like the very last one where they had the animated opening and they were sneaking through the neighborhood and they had the garden full of weed and the sign was there and it said, "Keep off my greens."
Yeah, I don't even remember that. Like,
yeah, I think it was Friday. It was Friday after next, took place during Christmas. I think that was the last one.
I mean, like, the only thing I remember from like Friday after next is Top Flight Security of the World, Craig. Right? That's yeah. So back to this movie. Yeah, like, one of them days, it's shot really well. It's shot inventively.
They have color timing. Fucking finally.
It's excellent. Like, everything is excellent in this movie.
And you know what? What's cool is, like, it's cool to see a black community come together because at the end of the movie, everybody kind of takes care of each other.
Yeah. Like, there are no... I mean, I can't say...
there's only two villains.
Right.
It's the bully and then...
And the king dude, what's his name?
Yeah, I can't remember homie's name.
Yeah.
But that shit was funny, too.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, so the movie is funny. It's just not hilarious.
Right.
But I can see this getting a cult following. Right? Like, and let me tell you, in my, like, when I went to see it, I was the only black person there.
I'm gonna be real. I was surprised to see how many white people were there. Like, there was a lot of black people when I went to see it, but there was a lot of white people, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Right. It's like, oh, okay.
Right.
But you need, like, black people. You need to go out and support this.
Yeah.
In theaters. And shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, because if you don't support something that's good like this, you're not going to get something like this again.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Like, yeah.
Also would like to say, don't Friday this. I don't want a sequel. We don't need a sequel.
They left it on a really nice note where I know things are going to be okay, but I don't need to see that they're okay.
Right.
They're on the right path.
Shout out to Maniac. You're a pretty motherfucker. Like they should have played that song, that ASAP song, when he came on screen. I'd be that pretty motherfucker.
Like, so that's the only sticking point with this movie is, and I know it probably got cut out. I know they probably shot it. Is at the end where he explains why they call him Maniac.
I mean, they do explain it.
They explain the acts, but they don't explain where he got the nickname from.
He says it. He's like, yeah, I was wild. I was just running around wilding out in the streets, and then they sent me to juvie.
Oh, I didn't catch that part.
Yeah, he says that in the car when they're driving around.
Oh, okay, I didn't catch that part.
Yeah. He was just a wild boy, like we all were when we were young.
All right, so yeah, beyond that,
we all do dumb shit when you're fucking young.
Beyond that, this movie is fucking, for what it is, for what it's trying to achieve. It's almost perfection for like what it was trying to be.
Yeah, this is the best possible.
Right?
I'm gonna be real with you. If this comes up on a Black Friday sale for like the Blu-ray or because I don't need the 4K, right? You don't need a 4K for this. So like, if the Blu-ray is like $5, I'll pick it up.
Yeah, and here's the thing: most of the time, I can't rewatch a comedy because the jokes, most in comedy writing, especially like this new age of comedy writing, once the shock value of the joke is over, it's not funny anymore.
Right.
I can see myself watching again.
Hell yeah,
on its own.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Very accurate about Church's Chicken. Church's Chicken's fire, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Like that. Like I wish we had Church's Chicken here. Like the shit about the payday loan.
Yo, I felt that. I felt that.
Like the whole entire thing, I felt.
It's because it's black as fuck.
Right.
If you're broke and black, you
right?
relate to this shit.
Like, I got 8 hours to pay this motherfucking bill, right?
Oh yeah, man. Like one thing I will say about the chicken, I just saw while you were doing your watches, I saw on Instagram that Don Julio and Popeyes are doing a collaboration.
Oh, where? Yo, if it is fucking Cajun fried chicken flavored fucking alcohol, I'm over. It's done.
I have a feeling it's going to be like, hey, get some chicken and then a limited edition Don Julio Popeyes bottle. Listen, either way, motherfuckers gonna be wild. Yo, motherfuckers gonna be wilding out. But I cannot wait till they announce what this collaboration is, because I'm gonna go there. And you know it's gonna be a shit show, but it's gonna be worth it. Niggas gonna be niggering. That's all I gotta say.
Oh shit! So I mean, I got really nothing else to say.
Yeah, I don't either.
Go out and see One of Them Days. This movie proves that Issa Rae is the real deal, right? Like she is.
Well, she didn't write it; she just produced it.
Right, but like she sees talent.
Right.
You know, like she brought it to life.
Because it's written by Sheeta Singleton or something. I can't pronounce her name. I'm sorry I messed up your name, baby girl. But like, I'm gonna be on the lookout for whatever else you write.
Yeah, and like the fact this was directed by a man, right?
Yeah, a black man, which I'm surprised. I was like, oh, okay,
right, like someone who got it, like who was able to speak with a feminine voice and like handle that. Like, all right. Kudos to you, dude.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got for it. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's better than Friday. Sorry. It's better than Friday.
Getting the presents because I guess I'm going to do a solo review at the end. And I ain't going to spoil much of that, but we will be spoiling presents because it is kind of hard to talk about without spoiling. And I do want to talk about some shit in this movie because I walked out of this motherfucker and I was just like, y'all made some choices, and those choices have me scared now.
It was the last 15 minutes for me.
So my thing is, this movie is less than 90 minutes.
Right.
And it takes a minute for this shit to really get going. And like the opening, it confirmed exactly what I thought was going on because I kept seeing the preview. And after you see the preview so many times, I was just like, oh, this whole movie's from the point of view of the ghost.
Yeah.
And the movie makes that clear from the opening.
Yeah. When you first start watching this movie, for like the first half hour, you're thinking, okay, so we're just going to watch the slow
Yes.
slow disintegration of this family through the eyes of a ghost.
And I was just like, yo, this is not interesting at all.
Right. No, I feel like I get it. I feel you. Like the first half hour is like, if this is going to be the entire movie, I'm good on that.
Yeah, because you got to watch Homie from This Is Us. And I only know that because I've seen him in the ads for the show.
Right.
You have to watch Homie from This Is Us struggle to be a good dad while Lucy Liu's just does not
mom.
give a fuck. Yeah, she is a shit mom. She just doesn't. And then the son, I was just like, oh no, that nigga deserves to be punched in the mouth.
Right. He's an asshole. And the only one, like the daughter and the father are the only two likable characters in the whole entire fucking movie. Right? And then slowly, like once you get to the 45-minute mark, hour mark, then you start to see what the fucking movie's doing.
Two things. First off, before we get into the blonde white kid, before we get to there, I wish they kind of elaborated what type of legal troubles the mom and dad were in, because that's never explained. And I was just like, if you're gonna bring that up, either expound on it or don't bring it up at all.
Like, see, I didn't need that, and like, because to me that was more of a misdirect, right? That was more of David Cope, right? Or David Keopp wrote this. It was more him saying, all right, there's more, throwing some more boring shit at you, like this more family drama at you.
Yeah, but if they're in legal trouble to the point where like these motherfuckers are going to go to prison, then dog, you can't just dangle that and then be like, yoink.
Yeah, I didn't need that, especially after seeing how the whole thing ended. Like I see what they were doing there.
Yeah,
right?
it's
like
fucking...
it was trying to trick you into thinking that this is a family drama.
I mean, it is, because the whole thing is tackling, familial trauma.
Yeah.
But like, all right, let's get into White Boy. As soon as White Boy showed up, I was just like, oh man, what a stereotype that you're gonna have the smart bookish girl fall for the stereotypical blonde hair, blue eyed douchebag white guy.
Like
I was just like, yo, listen, we not every woman is Wendy.
Look, they've been making that specific model of white boy since I was 16. Right? Like
that specific model of white boy's been around since white people have been around.
No, like with the hair and everything like that. Like I knew kids growing up who looked just like that. And you know what? They all look like rapists.
And you know what? That's what I thought was going on. And I was just like, wait. My nigga, you just had sex with her. Why do you need to date rape her?
Right.
And then once it's revealed, like, oh, this nigga's a serial killer, I was just like, are you fucking serious? I was like, really? This is what we're doing here? Like, he's the one where he's like, yeah, I killed your friends because they're fucking drug addicts, and now you'll die too because you're a fucking drug addict, and I'm in control.
His motivation, it wasn't even because they're drug addicts. It's like, oh, I don't have control of my life, and this is the way I can have
that's
control.
what he says. I'm in control.
Yeah,
like I'm in control now.
And he's just using the drugs as a way to say, as to cover his crime. Yes, that was over the top.
Like, yo, that is when I was just like, look, I was already halfway out the door. Right. This is where I was just like, yeah, I'm fucking good.
But the tension building in that scene, though, that was good. Like, no matter what his motivation was, right?
That was a wet fart.
And that end, like,
that was stupid. That was so stupid. I was just like, these two. I'm
not gonna ruin it. I'm not gonna ruin it.
But holy shit, the way that shit is wrapped up, I was just like, I'm done.
I was like, oh shit, both of them.
that was fucking stupid on every level. I'm sorry.
I actually, once I knew what it was doing, I liked the movie more, and I actually started to appreciate it. I get you not liking it. I totally get it. right? And all of that shit that you're saying, I'm not disagreeing. It was stupid. They could have done that a different way, but I appreciate the technical artistry of Soderbergh's camera.
Yeah, I'll say this. It does look like it's floating like a specter. Like
Right.
I did like the camera movements. Like it is floating like a specter.
Right. I appreciate the pacing. Right. I appreciate everything. The acting. It's the story beats.
It's kind of stagey, the acting.
Yeah.
It is really stagey.
Like, yeah, but it worked for it. For me, it works. Yeah, like this is gonna be, and like they're selling this movie
as a horror movie,
it's
not.
Movie.
It's a drama.
Yeah,
it's a supernatural drama.
Right.
Like there's only one scary part, and it's at the literal end of the fucking movie.
I mean, there's like I'll give you 3 scary parts. The first time is when she sees her books moved.
Oh,
and she screams. I was like, bitch, you didn't have to scream like that.
I mean, come on, bro. I would too. I'd be like, yo, no.
The second one was when the medium comes in, right? And she gasps as soon as she's presented with the specter. That was kind of shocking. And then the end, the climax.
So it was him the entire time?
What do you mean? No. It was the friend the entire time.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering.
Oh shit! It
brings up so many. Because somebody's saying it was him the entire time, and I was like, well, then that also doesn't make sense because it brings up other questions.
No,
about how can that happen if
because it's explained because when the psychic is in there, right? When the medium's in there, she says time moves differently when you're dead, right? So, you can exist in 2 times, like your future, your past, and your present are all happening concurrently. They're all concurrently, right? So you are literally okay. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. Now I like the movie even more, knowing that it was that motherfucker the whole entire time.
Oh man, that fucking takes it down for me 8 more notches.
Now I have to watch the shit again.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
To see if that logic holds true.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm fucking good. Because I thought it was the friend the entire time.
I thought it was a friend. I thought it was a friend too until you just said that.
And because when somebody explained it, I was just like, oh, okay. So the scariest part is the reveal that it was that nigga the entire time. And I was like, that's fucking whack.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So I'm going to put a warning in the show.
We already said we're spoiling it. Yeah, we already spoiled a good portion of it because we gave away the big reveal, which was the blonde haired nigga is a serial killer.
Right. All right. So if that's the case, then because the father throughout this whole entire thing is like, you should be protecting your sister. You should be a better man, right? And only in death and his spirit traversing time and space to make sure his daughter, make sure his sister doesn't get fucking murder raped. Does that come true? You know what? I like this. I like it. I like it. I can't.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? God bless you. God bless you.
I mean, this is one of the ones where I can't and I get what you're saying, and I get why you don't like it. It kind of works for me. It kind of really works for me.
You know what? This movie has me scared for Black Bag, and it has me scared for Jurassic World Rebirth. I am fucking terrified now.
Why is Jurassic World Rebirth got you scared?
David Keopp wrote it.
Different lanes. I'm
still gonna see both of them, but I'm just like, my hype is in the basement now.
Yeah, no, but for the Jurassic Park movie, he's not going to try to be nearly as heady, right? So I don't think the fear should be there. I mean, maybe being a little cautious, but not fear. But yeah,
oh yeah, I'm afraid. I'm afraid for both these motherfuckers.
Yeah, but it's so now thinking that the brother is the actual spirit, and because they were always talking about how the brother was an angry fucking dude, And that
I mean,
explains
he was
right, but that explains like pulling down the fucking shit in the closet and all this other shit.
I mean, that could also be. That's why I thought it was her friend, because I thought her friend was just looking after her. Honestly,
Right. Yeah, like I'm gonna actually have to rewatch this, and then we'll see if my feelings still hold up on a second viewing. But I am willing to give this a second view because I dug it.
and I say, yo,
Yeah.
more power to you, man. Like that's all I'm gonna say is like, yo, listen, I get why you would like it, totally do, but like this is, I was fucking,
I get
I
it.
was bored, and then it made choices where I was just like, are y'all fucking serious?
Yeah, no, I get it. For the first half hour, I was bored, and then I was like, I locked into like, okay, is this going to be a family drama through the eyes of a ghost? Okay, Soderbergh, I'm here for it. Like, you're back on your fucking sex lies and videotape shit, right? You're back on your experimental uh narrative storytelling shit. It was like, all right, let's see let's see what happens after you retire from filmmaking. And then it became a ghost story.
I liked it better when it was called A Ghost Story, done by David Lowery, starring what's my man's name? Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara.
Yeah, like I was about to say the other redhead.
Rooney's a brunette.
Is she a brunette? I thought Rooney was a redhead.
Nah, Kate. You're thinking of Kate. Kate's a redhead.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Wild to believe they're sisters because they look nothing alike.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I got this 8 years ago. It's called A Ghost Story, and it's one of David Lowery's best films. Shout out to David Lowery, man. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
All right. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. This does not need to be seen in the theater. You know?
Because it took a long time for Market Fair to put up showtimes for this.
Right.
So I was like, fuck, I gotta drive to Neshaminy and see this. I was like, oh well, I might as well see it in Dolby because Neshaminy's showing it in Dolby. And I'm glad, because I would have been pissed had I driven all the way over there and saw it in Dolby. Look, the sound design's good, but it doesn't necessitate Dolby cinema.
I was surprised when I walked in and was like, oh, this is fucking Dolby? And honestly, I think I like the Dolby theater in Neshaminy better than the IMAX theater.
The problem with Neshaminy's IMAX is that it takes the Dolby setup and put it in an IMAX theater.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because that's a Dolby setup, not an IMAX setup.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, yeah, like the sound design is good, and if you are at home, you have a sound bar and it's quiet out, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Look, I saw it in a regular schmegular theater at Market Fair, and I was just like, I ain't missed nothing.
Right. There's some nuance that has to do with like tone and pitch, but you'll hear it.
Yeah. Because when they were like, "Do you hear that?" I was like, "Yeah, I hear it." Nigga, like,
yeah,
I wasn't missing nothing.
Yeah. So like this, if you're gonna see it in the theater, do not pay for Dolby. Like, watch this in a regular ass reclining seat theater. You'll be fine.
All right, and let's get into our final review, which I'm going to tiptoe around because the less you know, the better. Even though the marketing, well, here's the problem: we go to the movies a lot, me and Jeff. So sometimes they'll run previews so much where I was like, I figure it out on my own. So and the movie tells you this within the first 3 minutes anyway. Companion, Sophie Thatcher's a robot.
Mm. Yeah, I mean it's trailer, yeah.
Because the way I figured it out is the last shot of the trailer is her hand is on fire and she's crying, and I'm just like, no bitch would have a reaction for that. And then the title of the movie's Companion, so that's how I figured it out. And then when I went to go to the press screening, I was like, they tell you right away, like, yeah, she's a robot. However, what I like about this movie is it really is a commentary on toxic relationships and misogyny. I'm gonna be real, like you're gonna see most of this coming, but it's executed in such an entertaining way. You can't help but be sucked up into it, and especially because the movie is a lot funnier than you expect.
And like that's not that's not an insult of what Brandon just said. It doesn't have to be wholeheartedly original. You just have to execute it well.
Yeah, and just trust me, bro. This is so far the best movie I've seen this year.
Really, I'm mad.
Yeah.
I'm mad I missed that press screening. I just couldn't make it.
I got my movies mixed up because last episode I said my most anticipated was Dogman and Presence. I was wrong. It was Dogman and Companion. I'm semi-homeless, so like my mind's mush right now. So like, yeah, Companion and Dogman are my two most anticipated movies of this month. And Companion, honestly, it exceeded my expectations. I'll be real with you. I will say this: at the end of the first act, there's a reveal with one of the characters, and the whole audience, mind you, it was only 20 people in the theater, but the whole audience, full of critics, just gasped, like, and even I was just like, yo, nah. I was just like, nah. So it takes it to another level because then you have that shit in the back of your mind the entire movie. And the way this movie plays out, you're just like, damn, bro. Like, the problems I have are within the third act, because you know how horror movies, how they take cheats and shortcuts, where you're just like, why don't you just kill the bitch and then be done with it? It gets to that point in this movie where you're just like, y'all are now trying to do stuff out of convenience and shortcuts, but it still works.
Right.
However, though, like, yeah, look, another strong performance by Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid. Like, this movie works. I like that it's futuristic, but it feels like it could take place now. I'll be real with you. If companions were real, I'd have a companion. They're like the fembots from Austin Powers. Like, remember when number 2 was walking out at the end of Austin Powers 1 with a fembot in a suitcase, and you saw the hair and the legs sticking out?
Yeah.
That'd be my companion. Because if every companion is Sophie Thatcher, like, I'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, yo, Jeff, this is Iris.
She named that bitch and everything.
Like, the one spoiler I'm gonna say is her name's Iris, and it cuts to a flashback where the song is playing by the Google Dolls, that song from City of Angels.
Okay.
And the way that they used it, everybody in the theater was fucking dying. I was too. I was just like, dog, this is the best use of this song, and they just did it last year in Deadpool and Wolverine, and it's used much better here.
Yeah, I'm looking for.
Damn, bro, the Goo Goo Dolls wrote that movie for City of Angels, and since then it's been used better in other movies. That movie fucking sucks, though.
Dude, I watched. I half watched City of Angels once. I think I rented it on. I think it was back when Netflix was actually doing DVDs.
Yeah,
right?
that's how you saw it?
Yeah, so like I got the DVD, I got halfway through it, and I was just like, oh shit, I want something else.
Dog, I saw that in middle school on HBO, because we had HBO at the time, and I just remember it got to the end of it. I was just like, so you're trying to tell me this nigga became human only for this bitch to die? Fuck this shit.
Right? Oh, so the
90s.
Oh, yeah, we're playing. Oh, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
We're so deep.
Yeah, fuck out of here. But yeah, this is 97 minutes with credits, but stick around for the first part of the credits, because there's some stuff that still, like, the movie's done once the credits start, but it gives you a little extra intercut within the first part of the credits where you're just like, oh, that's
Man, I can't wait to see this shit.
My brother was right. He was just like, because I remember I was so hyped to see this. I was like, Trey, you want to go to Neshaminy and see this on IMAX? And he's like, bro, we don't need to come here and see it on IMAX. And after seeing the movie, I'm like, oh yeah, my brother's right. You don't need to see this on IMAX.
Okay.
You could just see it in a regular theater. Make sure the theater you go see it in has good sound, though, because the sound mix on this motherfucker is good. Also, not as gnarly as the trailer makes it out to be. Don't get me wrong, it's still bloody, still fucking hardcore at parts, but not as gruesome.
Not as it's not a straight up horror movie.
And once you find out what's really going on, you're just like, wow, you guys are idiots because you could have went about this in a much better and smarter way and got away with it. Oh man, Companion, man, I cannot wait to see the shit again, honestly.
All right, well, it drops next Thursday.
Sophie, please do other things besides horror movies, because like you're gonna be stereotyped into a scream queen.
Like, don't be a Jenna Ortega.
Right, like you're turning into the white Mormon Jenna Ortega, because you're both moody goth girls.
Right, like I think there needs to be like a 3-way fight between these two and Aubrey Plaza to see who's queen of the moody goth girls.
Well, 2 of them are Hispanic, so. But speaking of 3-way, that's it. Yo, yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga. I bring Jeff around. I'll be like, yo, Jeff, I got 3 kids on the way, and you're like, what? What happened? And I show you who the moms are. You'd be like, oh, Brandon, you did well. I'd be like, yep.
It's like, I'm surprised you don't have 6. Put twins in the bitches.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Aubrey Plaza, heartfelt, my heart goes out to you. Honestly.
Yeah. Losing someone is always hard, but also losing someone to, them taking their own life is
harder.
It's rough.
Yeah,
especially because you feel helpless behind that.
Yeah. Yeah, Aubrey, I'm wishing you the best. Right. Take as much time as you need, and that's that. Oh, before we go, I forgot to say a couple of things in news. One is the Righteous Gemstones. They announced that the upcoming 4th season will be the last.
Good.
And the White Lotus has been renewed already for a 4th season.
Yeah. So on that news, honestly, if the Royal Gemstones had ended last season,
that would have been fine.
That would have been perfect ending for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm glad Danny McBride realizes just to get out, and actually, Danny McBride's never had that problem, right?
What, getting out?
Getting out. Like, he made Vice Principals 2 seasons.
Eastbound and Down. That was originally supposed to end at season 3, and then HBO's like, oh, if you want to do Vice Principals, you got to give us another season. And he's like, oh, fuck, all right.
Right. But
honestly, I like the ending to season 3 better than season 4.
I mean, didn't it go to season 5? Wasn't it 5 seasons or only 4 seasons? Yeah, I mean, I kind of like how he gave his own eulogy and it went to the future and shit like that. That was funny.
Yeah, it seems like Danny McBride can't get past season 4. Like, once he hits 4, he's just like, I'm done.
But that's
and I'm not saying that as a bad thing, but I would like to say, like, I would like to get 5 seasons out of you for something.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll give you that, but this whole entire 8-10 season shit, keep it British, man. Keep it real British. Like, once your story's done, your story's done. Except for Luther.
Yeah. The next movie, they gotta wrap that shit up.
Yeah, it's
because the last season was terrible, and then the movie was terrible. Spoiler
alert. Luther becomes a spy.
Yeah, bro, that's wild how he now works for MI6.
Right, it's like, oh, you are you're a secret agent now? Okay, cool.
All right, that is episode 148.
We're the Film Blurred. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best. It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.